Good evening. It is 5:15 this Monday, December 18th, and the Carroll City Council is now in session. Would you all please rise and join with me for a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we will have roll call. All are present. A little bit different order of business again tonight. We have some festivities, and so we will begin with the oath of office. Hi, Gina. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. All right, let's do Jason Atherton first. Good. Okay. Repeat after me. I, Jason Atherton,
I, Jason Atherton,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties
discharge all the duties
of the office of Second Ward Council Member
of the office of Second Ward Council Member
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Good job, congratulations, yeah. All right, Laverne. There's Laverne. Repeat after me, please. I, Laverne Dirks,
I, Laverne Dirks,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties
discharge all the duties
of the office of at-large council member
at the office of the at-large council member
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now and hereafter required by law.
Official. We'll do Carolyn next.
Okay.
Congrats, Carolyn. Repeat after me. I, Carolyn Seaman,
I, Carolyn Seaman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties
discharge all the duties
of the office of Fourth Ward Council Member
of the office of Fourth Ward Council Member
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law. Thanks, Gina.
Congratulations. Okay, last but not least, Jerry Fleschner. Okay, repeat after me, please. I, Jerry Fleschner,
I, Jerry Fleschner,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties
discharge all the duties
of the office of mayor
of the office of mayor
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
in the city of Carroll, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations.
Very good. Congratulations and thank you, one and all. Item number 4 on tonight's, we're going to move ahead of the consent agenda for just a moment. And item number 4 is budget year, fiscal year 25 outside agencies funding request. And we'll start with Ashley and Chamber Tourism. Ashley?
Printed out a little something for you guys just to kind of, it's a small glimpse of what we do. I'm Ashley Shavel. I think all of you know me by now. I'm the program director at the Chamber. And so thanks for passing those out, Laura. As you know, the Carroll City Council supported a portion of the Chamber's tourism marketing efforts for several years now. These dollars assist the Chamber in marketing our Carroll community across the state, online, at Iowa's Welcome Centers, and several showcase events, including the state baseball tournament and this summer, Rag Brag. As in the past, the Carroll Chamber of Commerce is asking for the City Council's support of our tourism marketing campaign, which continues to encourage everyone to choose Carroll. Just last week, Iowa Economic Development Director Debbie Durham was in Carroll, told a group of guests during breakfast at the Carrollton that tourism is essential in Iowa, as 64% of adults seriously consider moving to a new place after they visit. Our incredible Chamber team works hard to promote the community, invite visitors here through programs like the Carroll Band Day, our Color Fun Run at Swan Lake, our Court Classic Youth Basketball Tournament, which brings in over 60 teams and their fans to Carroll every February. We also organize 2 golf tournaments, as well as several retail events, including the ever so popular Jingle Mingle and the Grinch. These are all events that bring visitors to town and allow them to experience the many things that Carroll has to offer. Supporting these efforts with increased marketing builds the quality of life image we all like to portray to visitors and potential employees and many others that visit Carroll. Our tourism marketing efforts included a couple digital and cable ad campaigns this year. Maybe some of you have seen them. A commercial aired on cable networks across Iowa, as well as local and statewide social sites, as we invited fans from all over to experience Merchants Park and come to our community during the state baseball tournament. The Chamber continues to work with our local hotels and the Iowa High School Athletic Association to make sure all the teams and fans have places to stay. The Carrollton, the Days Inn, and the Super 8 all hosted teams and fans during the tournament again this summer. The Chamber works with local businesses and coordinated with restaurants to encourage teams to experience our dining and local amenities, and local volunteers personally handed out flyers at the state tournament to promote Carroll this year. Our hotel and restaurant lists were also posted on our Chamber website, state baseball page, and linked to the Iowa High School Athletic Association Tournament Central site for others to find us. Chad over here, Mr. State Baseball, created a state baseball Facebook page this year, and between the two of us, we were able to share all of our Carroll information on those sites, and I think that's something that will really grow this next year. A second digital campaign promoted summertime fun in Carroll with our live and local events that bring family, friends, and neighbors together by offering the live music once a month in our central business district, June through October. We actually had 2 of those in June this year and was a big hit. Local businesses continue to reach out to us to see how they can be involved, and we actually have some more fun ideas to add as we get things started this spring. So that will be kind of exciting for us to jump on board with some of the businesses. Just a week ago, for the 3rd year in a row, we brought the horse-drawn carriage rides to Carroll as part of our tourism marketing efforts. We partner that with Small Business Saturday. A multimedia campaign we did with ICANN featured those carriage rides again this year and invited everyone to do their holiday shopping in Carroll. We continue to coordinate tourism efforts with the Iowa Tourism Office and the Western Iowa Tourism, allowing visibility on websites and social media, both locally and around the state. I attend monthly Western Iowa tourism meetings, and during those, I'm able to share across the state how we are working and doing our best to drive traffic into our shops and our restaurants through all of our programs and events. As you've seen this year, we are asking the city for $35,000 to continue the Chamber's tourism marketing efforts. In November, the Chamber launched a new Choose Carroll initiative with a fresh new logo. You'll see at the top of the handouts there. There are many things coming in the new year with that campaign. We're actually working with the schools and have some students working on a couple of marketing pieces that you can keep an eye out for in the new year. Several of our plans also coordinate with some of the suggestions that were brought up during the downtown assessment team's visit in meetings with some of our local leaders. We appreciate the partnership we have with the city. We're fortunate to work so well together on things, and it's going to take all of us to promote our wonderful community and remind everybody why we choose Carroll. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer with kind of like what we do? What I leave out?
Ashley, can you talk a little bit about how the funding comes from the city and goes to the chamber?
Yep, so twice a year, there's a reimbursement that we do, and it's a spreadsheet. Everything that we spend through tourism marketing is turned in on a reimbursement to the city. And all of it's paid back except for $3,000 of an admin fee, so. Yep, so Laura's very good at reminding me when that's due.
And also in the past, you've worked with the city manager's office to work on the managing side of those things. So
Yep.
the city does have some response back or
Yep,
oversight of those
absolutely.
funds.
And if there's something that, you know, even when we have added the horse and carriage things, that was something that was discussed. You know, if it was, you know, viable and something that would bring tourism in, it's been a great thing. Anytime we kind of have some new ideas or something that we want to add, yeah, we try to partner together and talk before we make a decision.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate working with you in the past, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the
Been good.
future. Thank
Yep,
you.
appreciate the partnership. Thank
Ashley,
you.
just one quick question. I went back, looked the last few years and see how the reimbursements went, and it was at or near 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
Why the increase this year?
I think with everything is going up, and I'm finding that with some of the digital ad campaigns, especially the digital marketing, is just costing us a little bit more. And I think that's going to continue, just like so many things in life, and everything's going up just a little bit. So I just want to make sure we're able to continue to do the things that we're doing and have a little bit, so when things come up that we want to add, we're able to do that.
Yeah, good. I just think it's important to explain
Yep.
that the administration part isn't what's going up, it's just
Nope,
the
it's-
spend.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from print advertising to the digital, but the digital campaigns especially, we're seeing an increase, so, yep,
Do you know how many hits you get off your website?
a lot. I think actually monthly, we're at between 15 to 20,000 hits on engagement. And we had a video that hit this year that hit 27,000 in engagement. And it just depends on, you know, what it is. Horse and carriage gets a lot, Jingle Mingle gets a lot, because people, I think, are excited about the Grinch and the photos and the videos and stuff. State baseball always sees a big one because it's the draw from around the state, and people are sharing what they're doing. So anytime people are in here and then they go back outside, that really increases our hits. So,
That leads into my
yep.
next question has the chamber ever, at least on the tourism part, have they ever investigated opportunities with SEO or SEM?
A little bit, just a little bit, but, and that's something that I just need to be a little better at myself, but yeah,
It's explosive in the retail world.
Yes.
So, I
Yep.
mean,
yep.
it'd be worth investigating, I
Yeah,
think.
it's fun too, doing the digital campaigns and stuff. I know, Kyle, you do some things with Nicole at ICANN. It's really fun to do things through that, because the analytics and stuff that they can provide are really interesting. And it shows a lot of the numbers and the reach and the visibility that Carroll gets through those, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, do you have a question?
Is there a specific plan for what that additional $5,000 is going to go to? Or-
Not specifically. I think, obviously, some of our Choose Carroll campaigns that were just started, we just released that in November, so we have some big plans to do some things with that. I think I would like to use at least half of it towards that. Whether it's continuing with some of the digital advertising, the print media. You know, people love videos, even if it's 3 minutes, you know, and they watch things. And that's where our costs come in a little bit with that, so.
And is that a plan to ultimately help with the downtown reassessment that we went to? There was a negative connotation with the downtown. I guess, how does the chamber, and I know they're not all chamber members, but how does
Right.
the chamber, how are they gonna use this extra $5,000 to change the view of the downtown?
Yep, I think we can definitely do some marketing campaigns with that. Absolutely, you know, even some of the things, I know you were there when they talked about the walking distance and stuff, you know, from the Jordan Creek comparable to the back of Walmart, and what our distances are from one end of our town to the other end. I think some video work with that to show people, you know, what we have here, and highlighting our businesses and everything, not just the downtown, but all of our businesses. I think we can put some really cool things together with that. So just having opportunities to be able to do it.
Thank you, sorry.
Yep, oh, good question.
Actually, are you guys utilizing like Tiger Vision, things like that to help create some of these videos?
We are, yep. And actually both schools, you know, Tiger Vision and then Kemper has their nightlife now going, and they're kind of working together on some things. So we actually have a Tiger Vision student right now that she's released one video. It's on our Facebook page that Terry Ruchty did with us, and we've recorded 8 other of those right now. So they're going to be getting released. So yeah, it's great to get the students involved in that too. They're excited to do some work for the community. Not just the school. So yeah, we're hoping to keep that partnership too and have them do some things. So Kelly Schultz has been really good to work with on that. So yeah.
Anything else for Ashley? Ashley, thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Yes, you too.
The next contestant is Kimberly Tiefenthaler with the Carroll County Growth Partnership and their request. Hello, Kimberly.
Thank you. Thanks, Laura. The first thing I'd like to start off by saying is acknowledging Ashley Shabel and her work that she does. She does a great job for all of us at the Chamber, and talk about somebody who truly lives choosing Carroll first. Ashley does that in everything she says and does, and I really appreciate her work, and I know we all do in this room tonight for sure. So the first thing I'd like to do is just kind of step down through the piece that Laura just handed out to you, and it's just a reflection back over 2023 and some of the things that when I first came on board, so this is my second full year with the Carroll County Growth Partnership in the Chamber. When I first came on board in 22, we talked and we reflected and we did a lot of homework. We talked to a lot of people, we listened, and then we decided in 23 we were going to put some things into action. So that's what we did. So one of the first things that we implemented in the spring of 23 is our grant program. So it's a new program that the Carroll County Growth Partnership put into place. And with a dues increase from our membership, we were able to take that $20,000 and turn that money into a grant program. And so in $10,000 in micro facade grants, so 10 grants going out across in Carroll and Carroll County to businesses to make facade improvements, whether that be a new window, a new door, new signs, what have you. And then 2 Jumpstart Accelerator grants, one in Carroll and then one in the county. And those were $5,000 each. So that was a great program, very well received, and it's kind of been fun to follow those projects. The next thing that you see a lot about, and just down here on the corner, the signage that glows at night is Hub 712. And this is a project that we have a leadership team of probably 10 to 12 people working on this for the past 18 months. And the first thing that really gave this steam and made it real was when we applied for and received the Entrepreneurial Investment Award grant of $200,000 from IEDA. And with that, that is a grant that we are utilizing some of those funds at this time to do some light renovation inside and replace some flooring here and there that need to be done. But looking forward to what the interior is going to look like when we get it done and polished up. It'll be fun to get that building open. Then we received the Empower Rural Iowa Innovation Grant, which is a $50,000 grant that had a required match of $25,000, which we were able to raise that locally. And then we most recently received the International Economic Development Council's Fellowship. So that is something that we applied for in June, and it's been a process of matching host projects with fellows since June. And the original amount of applicants for this were 500 hosts, so over the span of the United States and beyond. And there were 1,500 fellows that applied for this. So it's been a process of eliminating throughout the summer. And we are fortunate enough to be one of the final 65 projects that were chosen. We're the only project for the state of Iowa. We are not the only project that applied in the state of Iowa, but we were the only one chosen for the state of Iowa. So we're happy to be representing the state with the International Economic Development Council in this project for this fellowship. This fellowship spans over 2.5 years, and the value that it brings to our project is around $265,000. So this pays for the fellow. It also pays for some of their transportation. So if they're visiting other places in the county or in the region, that mileage is covered. It also pays for them for training to go to some conferences and bring that training back home to our project here. So this is definitely, as you can imagine, a game changer for this when it comes to business development, entrepreneurial resources, things like that. This is definitely a game changer for this project. So the total grant funding raised in 2023 for this project is around $540,000. Stepping on, Carroll County Broadband, CCGP submitted an invitation to qualify to the state OCIO office for broadband support. So out of 99 applications, our application ranked 22nd, and led to a little over a $260,000 grant that those dollars go directly to Western Iowa Networks for the broadband in Carroll County. So identifying some of those areas that don't yet have access, and now we're able to get those areas taken care of. Access Washington this year was a successful trip, taking issues out to Washington, D.C., and as you well know, and our mayor has worked hard on it, and I think we all appreciate those efforts, certainly, as well as some other folks, and for the Fairview apartments. We visited with USDA out in D.C. That was a great conversation. Laverne and Aaron being an instrumental part of that conversation. Mayor doing some of the prep work. I know that you've been in constant contact with USDA pretty much. And I know this has been a joint effort that concerns many of us. And it certainly was a good thing to take to Washington, D.C. this year. We've acknowledged and we know, we've heard from other cities around us, other communities, and other counties around us that this project affects their housing as well, because it puts a negative spin on apartment type housing. And we know, and that was a great thing to be able to say to USDA, that not only is this affecting our community, but it's affecting those around us as well. The photos, things like that, a lot of time spent on putting some really good pieces together to present to USDA when we were in DC. So I think, again, that is a worthwhile trip, no matter what the issue is. A lot of times it's healthcare, it's always healthcare, actually. That's just one of the many issues, but always good issues that go to DC with us. The downtown assessment, a great partnership with the city of Carroll, bringing IEDA's downtown resource team to Carroll. As we all know, this 3-day event was, I think, a lot of hard work on the part of IEDA. I think we all appreciate the amount of work that downtown resource team puts into a community when they come and visit. I can tell you by the times that they went downtown and came back and went downtown and came back, so they spent time getting to know some business owners downtown and just doing their own visiting. They always came back with sacks in their hands, so I do know that they were shopping when they were downtown. They made mention of that during the meeting, that I think Jim Ingalls said the $400 to $500 he spent on his wife shopping downtown, was time well spent. So anyway, it was a great time with that team, and we're really looking forward to their full written report coming out in a few more weeks. And, we've already heard back from Jim Thompson and have been able to have a meeting with him to continue that conversation and to make sure that some of the things that we need to get moving, that we need to be aware of, that we can start doing that. So I feel really good. I know Aaron does too, about the movement with that partnership. The rural housing assessment is something else that CCGP partnered with the city of Carroll in order to complete this successful application. And it led to a grant of $10,000 coming back to the city. This is something that the city of Carroll had not yet done, which is just it's important to do for a few other initiatives in the state that we can participate in. This kind of needs to be in place. So a good thing to do. And I know right now, I don't know how long that questionnaire. Survey, thank you. I don't know how long that's open, but I do know we need the folks of Carroll to complete that. So just another shout out for that. If you have not yet completed that, we do have one more survey yet for you to do. So again, that rural housing assessment with ISU is something that is important to do. So just to bring to your attention that the total grant dollars that we have been able to apply for, have access to, and assisted others in accessing, in 2023 is around $810,000. So that's a lot of good work that I feel like we've done out of our office. It's some grants are easier to apply for than others. If you've done any of that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So some of them are heavy lifting and some of them, aren't quite as heavy of a lift. But nonetheless, we're proud of that dollar amount. We're proud of what we have going on and what we have coming up, looking forward into 2024. Just to note, some business conversations and assistance, not talking about anybody in particular, of course, but we have been having a lot of businesses contact us, and I really believe it's because of the uptick with marketing that we're doing with Hub 712, that we have people reaching out directly to us more so than what we have had in the past. So I just listed out the ones that kind of the different types of business inquiries, new expansion projects, buyouts, and exits. So people are thinking one way or another about their businesses, and our phone is definitely starting to ring. And soon, our fellow will be in place, and we can direct a lot of those calls after some period of training, of course, to Hub 712, where those resources will be all in place. So I didn't mention this earlier, but the fellow does start at February 1st. So with that, we have the Carroll County Growth Partnership and our Chamber of Commerce in the same building, utilizing 4 staff members for projects that include economic development, business development, placemaking, and community betterment. And I have to say, since Aaron has joined the staff of the City of Carroll, the communication and collaboration has changed in a way that is advancing our efforts in a very positive direction. Because of our hard work and great partnerships, 2023 has been a year of success, and we have good momentum going into 2024. In order to keep making these strides forward and continue to apply for grants when the opportunities are available and be the economic development partner the city needs, we need to maintain staff. I would like to make a request to the council that with the momentum we have and looking forward to 2024 in regards to community development, the downtown assessment, the ISU housing assessment, that we plan to have strategic conversations about the future needs and how we can continue to successfully keep stepping forward. So I do want to thank the city for their partnership and for their support, and we're looking forward to that increased partnership going forward. I appreciate the ease in conversations that I have with many of you. I appreciate the transparency, and it's easy to pick up the phone and call any number of you and talk, and I appreciate that. The collaboration that's how I operate. And that's what's best between all of us, quite honestly. So I just want to say how much I appreciate that. Can I answer any questions?
I'll go first.
Okay.
35 number of business visits. Will you explain that?
So that is businesses, these are businesses that have come to us. So this is not businesses that we've gone out and visited to through business retention and expansion visits intentionally. These are people reaching out to us. So
Current.
phone calls,
Current business owners that are, okay. Is that in Carroll or in Carroll County?
both Carroll and Carroll County.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the 7 number of new businesses, that's people that are not in Carroll or in the Carroll County currently, is that correct?
These are people that, well, either live here in Carroll or Carroll County and are inquiring about starting a new business.
Okay.
And same thing with all these. These are all people in Carroll County, making inquiries, having questions, maybe thinking about exiting. We've had people, I want to sell my business. What do I need to do? How can I find a buyer? That's a big question. That question's only going to increase.
With the fellowship program, it's a 2.5 year period, or the funding's in place for 2.5 year period. Is this going to be a long-term position after that 2.5 years? And then after that 2.5 years, how is that position going to be funded?
That's a great question and a good question. We have a leadership team in place to talk about that, and I'll be really honest with you. We've been working hard and very focused on just getting that project to the finish line, and hoping that we were going to get chosen to have that. Now that we have that, we can get it open and get things up and going. We can focus on longevity. You know, what does that look like and what is that going to take? So some of that longevity comes in with partnerships, whether they be corporate, and also partnerships across the state with other entities. There's other funding opportunities out there that we just haven't had time to investigate. We've been told about, and we're going to have time to look into those. So the fellow will be able to be that forward-facing person working directly with businesses and potential business owners. Then, you know, my efforts will turn towards funding opportunities past that 2.5 years and what that looks like.
Kimberly, I have a question about this person. What is the process for choosing the person to be placed here? Are you a part of it? How does that work?
Yes, we were a part of it. So it was a cooperative effort through the International Economic Development Council. They had their process that was in place that we all had to go through. But we were given 3 people to interview. And so that's how that happened. It was a matching process of hosts.
So it's done.
and
It's
fellows.
a done deal
Yes.
already. Okay. Can you say, is that person from the area or even Iowa?
That person is from Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wondered about the fit for this particular position for us, for you.
Right. So we had an interview team here locally that I feel confident that it's a good fit.
Okay.
There were choices that weren't from Iowa. We had 3 really great choices
Okay.
of people that had great backgrounds from different areas. These applicants were from all over the nation. When you think about longevity, there were definitely things
Sure.
that we had on our mind.
That's what I was wondering about,
Yeah.
how it could play out later.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
You raised 810,000, or you received that kind of money is what I got here, you received?
No, we have not received 810,000. We have received grants for Hub Someone Too, but we also worked on other grants. So in collaboration, part of that 810,000 would be the 260,000 that we helped assist with the broadband grant with Western Iowa Network. So that's included in that 810,000. So that total amount is what I'm showing, where either we access those funds ourselves for our own projects, or we assisted with those grant applications
Okay.
out of our office.
So my next question is obviously you probably don't get awarded every one you apply for.
No.
Do you know how many dollars worth you actually applied for?
That we didn't get awarded?
Well, the total amount, yeah, with this included.
Matt, you can come on up, yeah. Matt's been, obviously, he's been very instrumental, Matt Miners, in applying for grants out of our office.
So there's only one grant that we were actually assisting, that was with the city of Carroll, that we did not receive, and that wasn't even really a grant, it was more of a recognition, and that was a Thriving Communities application. Outside of that, every grant that we applied for this year and the amount that we requested, we received at 100%.
Wow,
So,
pretty good odds.
Were you involved in any grant applications for Merchants Park?
not directly not last year, this last year, no.
With your batting average, pardon the pun,
Right.
Chad might just put them to work and get the rest of our money up there, but
Happy to help.
Yeah.
you know, I'm a short timer, so I can give those bad jokes. So.
That one was pretty good.
That was pretty good. Any other questions for Kimberly and or Matt? $20,000 more, what will it go to?
So we have a staff position that we need to maintain, and I think we're proving why. We have done a lot of heavy lifting in 2023 for our own projects and with the city, whether it be Thriving Communities or whatever application has come our direction. We need to maintain that position. And $20,000 goes towards helping for that. If we can't maintain that position, we go backwards. And I don't think we're in a position or a time in our community when we need to go backwards. I think we've got too much momentum. I don't think I know. We have too much momentum. We have too many good things. The cards are in place. We've got to keep pushing forward. Not only for grant applications. And what I'll say about grants is, this is probably something that Carroll hasn't done a lot of in the past. The grant dollars are out there, right, wrong, or indifferent. Politically, putting all that aside, they're out there and they're going to go somewhere. And if we don't start searching them out and applying for them and pulling them our direction, it's never going to happen. There's a lot more that we can do that we're not doing. So, like I said, they're going to go to somebody's community. It's just a matter of who's applying and who's pulling in their direction. So it takes relationships and partnerships and a lot of hard work. And so I hope that answers your question.
Heavy lifting, meaning,
It's grant applications can be a lot of work.
okay, so it goes specifically to,
It's not just grant applications, it's being in touch with all of our community businesses. We have a generation of baby boomers who are leaving their businesses. We have a lot of exits that are going to take place. We've got to do a lot of groundwork on who's going to take over how many stores downtown. And we can all just start thinking about, and that's not just our community, or not just the downtown district, but then let's expand that to the whole entire community of Carroll and the businesses. There's a lot of work to be done as far as exit strategies for these businesses, but how can we start seeking out new business owners, and how can we empower people to step up and to buy businesses, and what does that look like for them? How can we remove some barriers? So there's a lot of strategic conversations I think that we need to have, some strategic planning that needs to take place about those types of things. So it takes a team. And I think we've got a good team coming from Carroll County Growth Partnership and the Chamber, but also with the city as well.
I think one of the things that we need to remember when we're talking about the planning, something that we haven't done in the past, and I think Kimberly hit on it, is the strategic planning moving forward. We just did our strategic planning. We need to take a couple of our council members and some of their, the executive board for CCGP with Kimberly, myself, and sit down and have a strategic planning ourselves to where that completely marries together so that we're all, bad analogy, but we're all rowing the boat in the same direction. Mark Jackson would just love that analogy, but I have a hard time with that one. But anyway, but we need to start pulling together, pulling the rope in the same direction, which from my understanding in the past hasn't happened. We've had too many silos, and we've kind of got those broke down at this point, and we're all working in the same direction.
So on the back page here, seven number of new business inquiries. I guess as a council person, if somebody, and maybe I look at this different, but if there's somebody that's new that's looking at being here, before that completely dies, I think we have some things we could do to make things come together, and we probably have to work closer on that. Because if they're hot,
You're talking we can work with them, and what you're saying?
oh yeah, and even as a city, like, and probably it's the retail side of me of the car business of if they're there and they're looking, they're going to make a move and do something, and it may not be today, but it could be tomorrow.
Right, and to your point, Kyle, I just had an email from a lender, a local lender in town, who has somebody he's visiting with that's looking at either our community or another community. And I definitely think that's a conversation where, given, we need a little bit more detail, but that's definitely a conversation where the city needs to come in, because what can we do collaboratively, or how can we incentivize this person to make a choice to be, to choose Carroll, to make Carroll their home.
I look at somebody young that's wanting to start a business, the next,
Right.
your biggest competition is the next town down the road or the next county down the road. If we don't do something or have some feedback, hey, the city should have this program in place to get a new business started, we're gonna lose every opportunity we have.
Right, and that's the mission of Hub 712, is, to work with businesses to the best of our ability to keep that growth here. We want to grow our wealth here, our tax base here. So, yeah, we need to, the silos are breaking down. We're not all working independently of each other, and nor should it be that way. We can't be successful that way. So I would agree with you wholeheartedly, Kyle, on strategically, we need to have those conversations sooner rather than later when there's a new business start or an expansion, or a business who wants to exit and is looking for a buyer. I may not know of that buyer, but there may be somebody here that is either interested themselves or knows of someone.
Jason, you had a question?
So for clarity and transparency to like our taxpaying constituents, this is actually a $70,000 increase, because you originally had the $50,000 increase for the retail coach and things of that, and now that came to an end. So we're not getting that back, and then we're gonna additionally put in another $20,000, which would be $70,000. I guess, how would you somewhat respond to, that's how, as the numbers aspect of it, that's kind of how I see it, which seems like a gross increase, and so.
No, actually, you've been spending $50,000 a year for the past few years on the retail coach program. 30 of that's gone away now. That program's over. So this is 20,000.
Because 30 of it's a pass-through straight to retail coach. So the retail coach program was a partnership between CCGP and the city of Carroll. So city of Carroll essentially agreed to do it for 3 years. It was administered by CCGP. So we essentially signed the contract with retail coach. The city of Carroll for 3 years gave us $50,000 a year for those 3 years. Of that $50,000, $30,000 of that went, and that's what it cost us to have retail coach for that year. So it was just a pass through from us to them.
But it's still an increase that we provided. I gotta check my numbers again, but it still appears as if we increased it to pay for the retail coach, and then in turn, we never stopped paying that, and now we're adding another 20 for it. I gotta look at my numbers, but when I looked at my numbers, it appeared as this, I see that it was a pass-through, but for transparency, we had originally given them the 30,000, and then, and now we're increasing by another 20.
Well, the original agreement does not, it ended after 3 years.
Okay?
So, like, our funding last year from the city of Carroll, for example, was 82,400. Then that was just for our general funding for CCGP. Then on top of that, another 50,000 came, 30 of which went to retail coach, 20,000, which was basically administrative to help fund a position to help take care of that and do the program and all that stuff. Now that that's over, end of this year, like your guys' next fiscal year, and like even this fiscal year 24, the city does not pay us the 50,000 for retail coach.
Okay.
So,
you're asking
so
for
we,
100.
if we didn't continue with retail coach or anything, and just where we were, we're at the 82. There's no, the 20,000 is in the top of that, but retail coach is done technically after this year. So there's no 50,000 added to that.
But you were paying for the retail still with the 80,000, correct? It was an add-on?
It was
Oh,
added.
okay, fair enough.
Any other questions?
I've got one more. This is my last one there. So with the increase in the ask, just under 25%, when you go to other communities that CCGP helps out, will there be a similar increase of ask from other communities?
In the county.
Yes, yep.
I would have to say no. We can't ask that of individual communities, and the reason is purely population and tax base and, you know, things like that. A great deal of our time is focused on Carroll, just obviously being the largest community in the county. So, you know, a great deal of, I would say when you break down the work, a great deal of our focus is definitely Carroll.
Will these other cities in our county have some sort of increase, or will theirs stay the same?
We did increase our ask to the county for the same reason. And also just because nothing goes down in cost, right? I mean, the cost of everything increases so much. But our increase for the city is greater than what we've asked from the county.
I would say with my conversation to other city managers too, they also understand that CCGP spends more time in Carroll. And I would say these funds are to ensure that we do get the attention that we need.
And just to clarify, the only governmental funding outside of City of Carroll is just the county, correct? It's just the county? Governmental,
CCGP?
for governmental, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the other cities don't have an ask.
Manning,
Those
they
are
don't pay a
strictly-
member
those
though
are
fee,
member-
right?
Yeah, the members on the
Yeah, they-
private side, but
Yeah, board
governmental
member fees.
funding.
But the city of Manning, the city of Coon Rapids, not Breda,
We're at the, yeah.
they have a membership fee though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. Any other questions?
So their feeling would be, and you know, we've had these conversations, but if Manning, I'm just gonna use Don Meyer's words, if Manning had a celebration going on, she doesn't pick up the phone and call us to help put on that celebration. But the CCGP and the chamber does put on that celebration for the city of Carroll. So what we do in partnership and in collaboration with the city of Carroll is much greater when you look at the breakdown of everything we do than for any other community. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you too. Merry Christmas to you
Thank you.
both.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, so we will move to item number 5, which is the consent agenda, the long-awaited consent agenda. Approval of minutes of the December 11th, 2023 meeting, approval of this cycle's bills and claims. We have one license to approve, and that is a new Class C retail alcohol license for 1730 Tap House. We have an item of note, particularly to you all, is fiscal year 25 budget schedule and council meeting dates for the calendar year 2024. I'm going to go ahead and read these appointments and committees, if you don't mind, because I think they're just very, very important We have community involvement. These would be appointment by the mayor and city council approval. We have John Hooton to the Building Code Board of Appeals. We also have Dave Shatman also to that same board. We have John Steffes, Denny Borman, Kathleen Hanson, Tim Fitzpatrick, and Karen Freeland, all to the Historical Preservation Commission. And then appointment by council, Michelle Pritchard, Planning and Zoning Commission, and then Jean Vincent to the Airport Commission as well. Also in tonight's consent agenda would include a swim team agreement with Carroll Community School District for 23-24. Are there any questions or comments about the consent agenda? And if not, I would seek a motion to approve as presented.
I got one.
Oh, we got two.
So,
Go-
what's
you-
1730 tap out, what is that?
Yeah. Can't find it anywhere.
I can't either.
Oh, it's, business is gonna be opening up a restaurant in the old Charlie's at the Carrollton. So 1730 is the street address.
They wanted to know because alcohol, right? Is it alcohol?
I actually guessed that. in our
That for
council.
you, for sure. I knew where it was, but I knew about it.
Just one other comment. We do have an opening on our Board of Adjustment and an opening on our Planning and Zoning starting after the first of the year. So if somebody is aware of somebody that would be interested in that, contact Mayor Fleschner or the city office so that we can,
Did you
Go
look
through
into
that
the one that I
process.
suggested?
yes,
Okay, and he's gonna stick with rec?
yes.
Okay. Because I was gonna poach one from you, but. I know. Okay. I'm still looking for a motion, okay, Laverne? Second? Tom? Hearing any further discussion? None. Roll call, please.
Cornell?
Yes.
Brett? Yes. Dirks?
Yes.
Bass? Yes. Bauer?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Perfect.
All approved.
Thank you. Item number 6, as always, we have oral requests and communications from the audience. Members of the public can approach the city council with items that are not on tonight's agenda. Are there any? Going once? Very good. Item number 7, we have ordinances tonight. We have Carroll City Ordinance Chapter 63.014B, and that is an amendment to a speed zone change on North Grant Road. I'll turn it over to you, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. A few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now, we had a request to review the speed in the 1800 and 1900 block of North Grant Road. This was from the residences that are along the west side of the road across from Fairview Elementary. We put our speed sign up there to collect some data to see what we could find out. And the complaint that we received was a valid complaint that we were seeing higher speeds in that location. It's a pretty short speed zone location. It's 25 miles an hour, and it's coming from a 35-mile-an-hour zone from the north. After some review with the code, the current code says that the 25-mile-an-hour speed zone starts 260 feet north of Todd Terrace. The signs aren't accurate as to where they're supposed to be. The one going northbound is, the southbound sign is not. So the request will be to move the 25-mile-an-hour speed zone north to 480 feet north of the center line of Todd Terrace. The goal here is to get people to start slowing down earlier when they're in the residential zone. They are in that 25-mile-an-hour speed zone. As you guys probably know, most times when you see the speed sign, you don't start slowing it down until you hit the speed sign, which in this short location doesn't allow traffic to slow fast enough in that location for the residences and walkers. And we do have a bike path, walking path that runs along Grant Road in that location. So 480 feet north is approximately, well, not approximately, it's the south edge of the golf course right before the condos property line begins. So that's where 480 feet north is, side of that 25 hours speed zone.
Any questions for Brad? Brad, I have one. There, on the southbound Grant Road, there is a, I wish I recited exactly what it is, but it's like a slow down ahead warning
I
sign.
think it's the drive 25, save lives sign that's
it.
there. So
Yeah. Will that remain? Will that move further north?
I think we'll keep it where it's at. It's still before the school zone, and it'll be just another reminder that the speed does change. So if we do go through and pass this ordinance, we will put the speed sign up there too to kind of give people a heads up as to what the change is going to be to get the get people to recognize the signs do move. It's not a big move, but it'll be enough that we're hoping it'll slow some traffic down.
Yeah. I'm certainly supportive of it, but I officially tell how old I am now because I think everybody drives too fast, so that's on me, except for me. But I think it's a good move, and so I certainly support it. Any questions for Brad?
The only request is we'll just go ahead and pass the first reading of this, and we'll bring it back to the next council.
Yeah, is that what we'll do?
Yeah, we have not put this out to the public yet, so this is where we're at this point. So we
Okay,
have
so-
no feedback. The only feedback we're getting is from the residences in those condos who are in support of the change.
We'd set it for the January 8th meeting would be the first reading. Everybody in agreement?
You don't want a first reading?
We'll do the first reading tonight.
We can do one tonight?
Yes,
Okay,
and then we'll have
perfect.
the other one or two the next meeting.
Great,
However
what's
you
council's
guys choose to
wishes?
wish.
To do that?
That's fine.
Yeah, good.
Motion?
So moved.
Tom?
Second.
And seconded by JJ. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Shrek? Yes. Dirk?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes.
Bates? Yes. Bauer?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Great,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Guess what? My second pun of the night, that speeds that up. Okay. Did you catch that? Okay.
On a roll.
Yeah, I know. I can't understand why we're losing our crowd, so. Under 8, item under resolutions, we have a professional service agreement with Shive Hattery Engineering and Graham Park Banshell. Chad.
Absolutely, thank you, Mayor. So this is a pretty standard professional services agreement. It is with Shive Hattery Engineering. This would be the focus of this contract would be to get construction ready on the band shell itself. In the actual document, it shows multiple things that we've talked about in the past that are needing repair. Council did vote in December of 2022 to proceed with future improvements to this piece. So basically what this is gonna look at is new roofing, masonry, repair of steel structure, replacement of some doors, electrical upgrades, and things of that nature. Price of the contract work is $22,500. That would also get us completely through construction. So that goes through bid phase, design phase, bid phase, and then inspection afterwards. So unless there's any questions, I would consider and approve the following professional services agreement with Shive Hattery.
Questions for Chad?
Chad, we're only 30,000 into,
Correct. So far, that is all we've put away. Doing this now allows us to maybe take a look at what we could put away for this upcoming fiscal year and then allow us to go after some grants as well.
have you had anybody contact you, potentially doing any fundraising?
That guy right there. He's going to help host an event. But as soon as we get the ball rolling, I think we're going to do kind of a media campaign, try and see if there is some interest out there in helping with this project. And I think that could go a long ways. It does have a lot of historical relevance. I know you two are working very hard on getting it on the national registry.
Will help with grants immensely.
There's a lot of churches that have used it in the past and continue to use it to this day. I think the dance team used to hold events there. Bands have held events there. So I think there's multiple ways to try and do some fundraising for it.
Going back and looking on this, Chad, didn't we do a study already and then it came out?
So we did the study to determine what we needed to do. Now this would be designing what construction would do to fix it.
But didn't we get estimates on what it would cost
Correct.
on all of it? So are we just redoing what we did before?
No.
Totally
Again, that was a
different.
pre-designed study. So basically they looked at where, what was failing, why it was popping out brick at the bottom. That helped us assess what we need to do going forward. This would be putting it all together in a package so we could take it out to bid.
Tom, that's a good question because they did look at it and,
Thought there were some good
had
numbers thrown
different
around there.
fixes to consider. And
They did
that's
provide
what-
us some
yeah.
construction numbers,
They,
estimates.
in Chad's final paragraph there, he said they're going to review that assessment report, and I think From my perspective, we'll be getting updated numbers.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a part of any professional services agreement when you go into design phase for bidding and construction.
Yeah, so looking at the same document, they aren't doing it all over again, but just
Correct.
giving us more relevant numbers to consider.
I really don't have a problem with the design thing going forward because we budgeted for that. What I worry about is the actual cost at the city. This is not an essential thing. Where I'm gonna go back to is, you know, the State League of City meeting that I went to, and the last 2 weeks I've been at League of City meetings, and this House File 718 has been the topic of the conversation in all 3 meetings. You know, we can go ahead and get the planning, but as far as $100,000, I really think that's something that we need to sit and wait and see where we're at with our budget and what the Senate or the state
Correct.
does this year.
And my initial plan right now is, you know, this is a perfect time. We're ending some different projects right now before we start up another couple. So let's get this designed and ready to go, and then we will pause. We will wait until we make sure that we have capital secured before moving forward, whether that's through grants, whether that's
If it's
local option
fundraising and
sales
grants,
tax,
I don't have a
anything
problem
like
with that.
Yeah.
But if we're taking general fund budget or something like that for 100,000 for construction, you know, this House
This would
File,
likely not be
this
paid
is
through.
718, that's a 5-year
Yeah.
program that we gotta go
Yeah.
through. And the first year, you know, Aaron is telling me we're okay, but we don't know about years 2 through 5.
Yeah,
So I
Laverne-
think we gotta be careful on something like this, that's not an essential item, to make sure that we can have the funding for it down the road without hurting anything else.
My guess is this will not be paid for by our tax dollars.
No,
This
if-
is
yeah.
a prime candidate for something local option sales tax, hotel motel, grants, and fundraising opportunities.
Recreation like this, if you look at the explanation for a hotel motel, it's exactly the type of project. And I will tell you, Ames has the Bandshell Park off of Duff. It's on the National Register. They've gotten grants. The Bandshell in Fort Dodge on the National Register. They've gotten grants. The Sioux City has a beautiful Art Deco big white bandshell, same thing. And I will tell you, we will not get any grants to do anything. This is one of the reasons that, and we're gonna be arguing on February 9th, our position with the highest board in the state that deals with this, Vicki and I. And this bandshell is one of the premier structures when we've gone through all the steps. And it's one of the reasons that we could possibly, I hope we do it, I think we'll do a good enough job, we'll try, but it's one of the reasons we could qualify for grants for other upgrades in the park. And then and the lady that we are working with, it's her first year at the State Historical Preservation Office. She has been wonderful to work with. She is also tied in with the grants. They are now housed, the State Historic Preservation Office is now housed in the Iowa Economic Development Office. And they have grants available for projects like this. So they're intertwined because Iowa Economic Development Authority sees the value in preservation for tourism, et cetera. So I was looking ahead at our hotel motel, and I think that, Laverne, I understand where you're coming from. It is a big concern, but hotel motel would be a logical a place to start with funding, whatever they come up with numbers. And I know Vicki may want to speak to this, but we have our historic preservation meeting the end of January, and one of the things on our agenda is that, and it was a line item for our budget, that we would be working on fundraising for the bandshell. And Vicki and I think because of our connections with the state office, we're also willing to put in our time and work on grants. And we know the people down there, and I think, as Kimberly said, those connections are important. So, yeah, Laverne, I understand, and I don't want the public to think that that would be the case. I think
Good to hear.
other avenues, yeah.
Chad, we talked earlier before the meeting about Shive Hattery and so on. Who's doing the design work or the cost estimating for Merchants Park? And where I'm going with this is, remember, we had a couple of
Correct.
surprises
Yep.
there.
Absolutely.
Who is that?
It is the same architect. I don't know how much they
Not
will
Shive.
be. Yes,
It is Shive.
It is also Shive.
That scares me.
It is a completely different engineering office through Shive,
Okay.
but the
Different
same
set
architect.
of, different
on
set
both
of eyeballs.
Sure.
I mean, to your point, Laverne, duly noted. I mean, it's gonna be a real struggle for you guys. I mean, it's
Yeah,
really gonna
the
be a
meeting
son
I
of a
went to
gun.
just last week, they announced Sheldon, which is 5,000 people, they're going backwards with their funding.
Yeah.
Almost 100,000. And then there was another town, they're on the other side of the table, 3,000 people, they're going back 100,000. They're gonna be in big trouble. And that's just the first year. This is a 5-year program that we gotta be careful
Yeah,
with.
so that as all of these asks come to the plate here, you know, they all have to be just extremely heavily considered. But, you know, the one thing I'm thinking about, you know, and I mentioned this also, that of our park system in Carroll, Graham Park is the premier park in the city of Carroll. And I think that the band shell itself is the focal point of Graham Park. And if this thing's $100,000 or so to fix it up and make it look a lot better than what it does today, and unless we get something catastrophic back from Shive Hattery, like it's double what it is to do those, you know, the fencing and bleachers and things, unless it's catastrophic. I mean, this is Carroll. We'll make it happen. I mean, whether through it's private, public, we'll make it happen. I mean, and guys like guy on the end of the road and guys that want to roll up their sleeves and gals, we'll make it happen. So,
Just like they're working on raising money for merchants. You know, it's, people in Carroll are great.
Yeah, it's gonna
with their
happen.
philanthropy and just work. But looking ahead, everybody should look at the hotel motel and see how it drops off. And the 30,000 is in this budget year. And then moving into 24, 25, and so on the next 3 years, we have over almost 300,000, just under 300,000, and 351,000, 26, 27. So
Good
there's
point.
some wiggle room for other projects too, so.
any other thoughts? What's the council's wishes? The recommendation is to approve the design survey.
I will make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Kyle? Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Dirks?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Strack? Yes. Bauer?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Very good. Thank you. Good discussion. Okay, we are approaching 8B, which is the Ziegler Urban Renewal Plan. Laura, it's just turning over to 6:24. I will open the public hearing on the proposed Ziegler Urban Renewal Plan. And Aaron, you're on deck.
Okay, on November 27th, council made action to proceed with creating an urban renewal plan to support the development of a local retail service building for Ziegler Caterpillar. Process has gone through. On December 1st, a consultation meeting was held with the affected taxing entities, which none of the affected taxing entities attended the meeting. And then on December 13th, the Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the proposed urban renewal plan and made a finding that the plan is in conformity with our general plan or our comprehensive plan for development as a municipality as a whole. So our recommendation from city staff is approve the resolution of the urban renewal plan and then begin the ordinance for the division of revenue under, or are we approving the first reading tonight? So approve the first reading of the division of revenues under Iowa Code Section 40319 for Ziegler Urban Renewal Plan.
Excellent. And we also had all the information within our packet. Any questions for Aaron from the council? I've worn him out on this one, so.
No.
No questions? So then the recommendation, once again, is we'll close the public, you want to?
Make it official that no comments.
Yeah, no
were received.
comments, yeah,
Correct,
yeah.
yeah.
And we didn't hear anything either, so let's go ahead and close it at 6:25. It's almost 6:26. So you heard the recommendation, and is there a motion to approve the resolution to adopt the Ziegler Urban Renewal Plan?
So moved.
Second.
Laverne, Tom, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Fornero.
Yes.
Shrek.
Yes.
Base. Yes. Seaman.
Yes.
Dirks.
Yes.
Bauer.
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
And then now you'll need a motion for the first reading of such resolution. Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Tom and JJ was a close second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Dirks.
Yes.
Fornero.
Yes.
Shrek.
Yes.
Seaman.
Yes.
Base. Yes. Bauer.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Perfect, thank you all. Item 9, under reports, we have, Chad, you're back on with the Carroll Recreation Center Improvement Project, change order number 8.
Yeah, everybody's favorite words. This change order number 8 actually comes to you as an overall credit of $4,082 towards the project. I know I've emailed you guys all out our standard procedure, kind of discussed what these items are. I'll just kind of recap them. There's 3 different deleting of painting in different areas. There's the men's locker room east wall repair, and I wish they would have renamed this instead of additional toilet accessories. It was additional ADA accessories. And then obviously at the very bottom, the delete final grading and seating, we will do that in-house. Overall, pretty standard. I know I've answered a few questions on it. This will bring our remaining contingency, if approved, to $87,798 to remain for the project, excuse me. So if there's any questions, I would recommend the approval of change order number 8 in the amount of a credit towards the project at $4,082.
I met with Chad, and all of my questions were answered satisfactorily, so any questions from the council? We like the idea that one's got coming our way, so. Any questions? Last chance? All right, so you heard the recommendation, as Chad described, to approve a change order number 8 in the amount of a credit of $4,082.
So moved.
Tom?
Second.
Second by JJ. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Fornero.
Yes.
Dirks.
Yes.
Bauer.
Yes.
Seaman.
Yes.
Shrek.
Yes.
Base. Yes. Motion is approved.
Great, thank you. Okay, that's the conclusion of tonight's agenda. We have committee reports in your packet. Comments from the mayor, I have none. Comments from the city council?
Yeah, it has, at the last League of Cities meetings, they want us, council members, to be looking at what our legislatures are gonna do this year. We need to be aware of it, as one of the 2 topics that we have to worry about is they're looking at taking away the local option sales tax like they tried last year. That's gonna be brought up. And then the other thing is the backfill for schools on TIF programs. They wanna eliminate that backfill. If that happens, that will really hurt economic development. So we have to advocate that that doesn't happen. Then one more thing, does everybody know about Santa's Row down there by McFarland Clinic? If you haven't been there,
Yeah, we were there
go
last
down
night.
Grant Road to, start at McFarland Clinic and just go through. It's a sight.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool. There's a lot of cars looking at it, so that's it.
Back to the League of Cities, and they mentioned the local option sales tax. I read today a report from the media that said that the Republican agenda was out, and it didn't mention local option sales tax.
That's
in there.
good. That's good.
So I looked. What's that?
I'm hoping it doesn't increase off.
Yeah, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, they can't give us a 1-2 punch like that, you know. So, anyways, it wasn't on there. That doesn't
That's
mean.
good.
That doesn't
Because
mean
I
it
was
won't
there, what,
happen, but
Tuesday night, and they were worried about it.
yeah. Okay, comments from the city council. Any other comments from city council? Comments from city manager?
No, sir.
Okay, they say item number 14 is Misty's plaque presentation, is what that says. A plaque presentation, so you want to go ahead?
Right here, sorry, got it right.
Okay.
Sorry, I was pointing at Laura.
You earned this with a lot of work. 8 years of work, I think, on the council, 6 of which I worked with you.
Yep.
And I know that you paid close attention because I know that you knew when I went from water to coffee. It might be, like, you were the first one to notice.
Yep.
So everybody appreciates all the efforts you put towards the city of Carroll, and you were sincere in your efforts, and I think you got a lot done, and we want to all congratulate you for
Thank you.
your accomplishments.
I
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. 8 years was good. I learned a lot, and it's always good, I think, for just fresh people to come in, and so I'm excited to just see what happens for the next years ahead for you all. So
We
thank you
know
so
you
much.
won't quit paying attention.
No, I won't.
That's all right, good for you. Thank you.
Okay, if no one else is paying attention, I would move for an adjournment, but that ain't gonna happen, is it?
No.
Okay, all right. I tried, Tom.
You said Misty only, but there's also a mark here.
Yeah, I tried, Tom.
You noticed I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah. I had you all queued up.
This is gonna look nice. It's beautiful, really.
Yeah.
And congratulations on all your efforts and everything you did for the city of Carroll. And I thought about this, and you and I have a lot in common, actually. Not only are we both going to be mayors of Carroll, but also we kind of moved here about the same time, I believe. What year did you come?
84.
84. So I was here in 82. We came from the absolute opposite sides of the state. I came from Dubuque with no intention of, this is my hometown, I did grow up here, but no intention of actually living in Carroll, Iowa after I got out of college. I came back, it was just the right fit for me and my family. Same for you. You know, you came here not knowing what Carroll was like, and you found it was the perfect fit for you. So I think we have a lot in common in that way. And you earned this plaque with a lot of work here. And I know you did other work for the city of Carroll, and you won't quit.
No.
All right, so there you go. Thank you very much.
I won't hug you. She
Oh,
did.
that's okay.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody too, and, yeah, I'm gonna stay dialed into happenings here as well. And, you know, you can always count on me to remain as Carroll's lead cheerleader. So, thank you. Now, Tom.
Motion to adjourn?
Second? There's a second. Any further discussion? Not debatable? Roll call, please.
Base? Yes. Shrek? Yes. Dirk?
Yes.
Cornell?
Yes.
Bauer?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.